Actor Cameron Matheson on Life After All My Children. Signs you've become that couple everybody hates. And we try on the most expensive designer tee for men. And that tea is a doozy.
Yes,
we will get to that. Welcome to Life Love Shopping. I'm Michelle Yarn.
And I'm Rachel Kay. We're also going to show you some apps that you just can't live without. There's so many to choose from, so we've really narrowed it down to the ones that are really going to help you.
Okay, and tides are turning financially for people. We're finally getting control of our credit card balances, and we have a financial expert who's going to give like the top 3 tips you need to know to really rein it in and be in control of your money.
That's
so
good.
You don't want to miss that one. All right, well, maybe you've heard the term leaning in. It's been a buzzword of sorts since Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg used it in her book earlier this year. And basically what it means is she's encouraging women to lean into their careers rather than leaning back or taking a step back and passing up opportunities just because you're afraid you're going to have a tougher time juggling work and family. And you might make more money at work by leaning in, but it's going to cost you at home, right? I mean, that's the thought. What about $96,261 to be exact? At least that's according to one blogger's tally. She breaks it down like this. You would need a full-time nanny because you're doing more work, so that's $37,000 a year. A baby nurse, so that's $10,000 for 6 weeks.
Jeez.
A housekeeper, $6,000 for a year. Preschool can add up. In her area, she said it could be about $32,000, big ones each year, depending where you live. Or full-time daycare, $24,000 a year, and all of that brought her to the grand total of $96,261. The big argument here, which I agree with, is whose list is this? I mean, who does housekeeper, baby nurse, and a nanny, like all of that stuff adding up? She's trying to make the point that it is going to cost you.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of taken out of context now because Sandberg's original speech when she used this term, she was talking to a group of women in their 20s, and she was saying that lean in now, go full speed.
Go
if
hard
you know you're going to have a family later on, and then you have to make those decisions.
Because a lot of people like let up when they're in their career. They're going, okay, well, I'm engaged now, so I'm not going to work as hard because I know I'm going to have to
add
quit
kids
and then add kids. And then plus those numbers aren't even taking into account that there's usually most of the time 2 salaries.
Yeah, it's basically a fancy name for something we've been dealing with for decades.
For decades, exactly. Go hard. All right, and you could do that in the love department as well. There are some couples you can't stand because of their nauseating love for each other, and this is not jealousy, simply some couples just need to reel it in. Well, here are some signs that you are that couple. You have to be in constant communication when you're apart, like this photo.
That is awesome.
You're always texting or calling each other when you aren't physically together, and where you're not talking to each other, you're talking to others about your relationship. PDA all the time. A little PDA is fine. You can give a peck and hold hands. That's totally acceptable. But you're that couple if you're always making out in public, and you don't need to kiss in between every bite of your burger or make out against your car when you leave each other. The other thing is you have grossly cute nicknames for each other, like babe, baby, babes, sweeties. Those are fine. Schnookums, googly bear, not so much. Gross names may cause vomiting.
I know a couple who did the PDA all the time. I won't say who, but it makes everybody else uncomfortable. You're like, do I leave? Do I look away? Do I ignore it? Yeah.
In our like in different cultures, like in Brazil, it's very common to be very affectionate all the time. But for us, it's like, no, just like rein it back a little bit. Bring it back.
Well, guys, you know, you give ladies the heat all the time for buying expensive shoes and purses. Well, now it's the ladies' turn to dish it back to the men, because check this out. You are looking at the most expensive men's t-shirt in New York City, possibly in the world. This little beauty has a $91,500 price tag. You'll find it hanging in the Hermes store on Matheson Avenue. And it started as a quick little blurb on a blog called theall.com, and now it's spread like wildfire. You can't dismiss that luxe material. The tee is made from crocodile. I'm assuming it's a little heavy, probably not all that breathable, and it's summertime in New York City. Oh, and don't forget sales tax in Manhattan. That'll run about $8,000. So you're looking at a final checkout price of $99,500.
See? They cannot tell us that we spend too much money on clothes. There's stuff just as expensive for you guys to buy.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. There's more pictures too if you just Google it. You can take a closer look.
Pretty wild.
Well, if you're looking to add a little spice to your home, we got some insider tips straight from the 12th Annual Architectural Digest Home Design Show. Check this out.
Inspiration for the home, the 12th Annual Architectural Digest Home Design Show, and we caught up with interior designer Anthony Todd for some of his favorite finds.
I think what I found so special this year about the show is how many artisans are here showing their products. be it more sort of authentic design or whether it's something more, let's say, high-geared and technical like Jen Air. It's a wonderful mix of form and function all mixed into one.
These kitchen appliances look more like luxury design pieces.
Jen Air has always been a pioneer in advanced ventilation systems, from the introduction of the first downdraft cooktops to parametric ventilation, which hangs on your wall like a flat screen TV, to our latest, the Accolade. It's beautifully handcrafted in stainless steel and glass, and it's got this beautiful curved shape. So when it comes up, it puts the ventilation power closer to the actual source of the cooking. Not only is it very efficient, but it's also beautiful and sculptural on your countertop. And then with the press of a button, when you're not using it, it just elegantly disappears into the countertop.
And this is the latest in steam ovens.
It's self-contained, so it doesn't need a water line running to it. Cook fish and vegetables beautifully, but it's also a traditional convection oven, so you can do roasts in there as well. So it's like a supplemental oven to your main one. It also has functions like bread proofing and even a function for making your own yogurt at home.
Todd's other favorite hot spots, furniture company Carcula.
I think their style is good. It's still contemporary but classical and therefore has a timeless appeal to it.
A design team that is really fussing over the details. It would be much easier just to weld things together and have simpler joining seams, but this is a detail that makes me crazy, and this is what I am excited about.
Good lighting, Todd says, is one of the most important touches in a home. Enter Fiel Levent Atelier.
The nicest thing about them is when you use this kind of light in the bulb, it starts to sort of glitter, especially when you walk around it.
It's the key to everything. I mean, it makes people look good, it lights, it personifies beauty. I mean, lighting, I think, is the key for any design.
And the finishing touch to any home, great textiles. This is Hiro Koto Keita.
Her beautiful sense of textiles. They're so soft and they're so manageable. I mean, one would throw this over a sofa. I would definitely have this over a winter coat. I mean, it's just really beautiful. People are really living and breathing and loving their work.
In New York, I'm Megan Meany.
Actor and TV host Cameron Matheson has not slowed down since starring as Ryan Lavery on All My Children. Now he's a Good Morning America contributor, host of a web series, acting in movies, and now taking time to talk to us, and we are very grateful. Welcome.
Thank you. Wow, that was a nice intro.
Well, you deserve it. You have all those credits to your name. You're super busy. Let's first talk about your new movie, The Carpenter's Miracle, which is based on a best-selling novel. Tell me, what drew you to this role?
Well, that's a good question. I think, I got the script, and in the first couple pages, I was kind of hooked right away. There's just a certain element in this story that it's such a great feel-good message without banging the viewers over the head or the readers over the head with it. And I love the main character, the character I got to play, Josh Carey, who's this leading man character, but a new experience for me playing a leading man with. I'm used to kind of going in there and being like this confident, charming kind of womanizer, and Josh was very humble and selfless and very other-centric instead of being so self-centric, and I was just drawn to that right away.
Now, you were talking about being sort of sexy man. Soap fans, of course, are counting down to the return of All My Children on Hulu. What are your thoughts on reviving the show, and can we possibly see you?
I'm so thrilled for the fans that All My Children's coming back on. I mean, it's just amazing. And yeah, I would love to be there. Of course, I moved out to LA when the show came out here, and now they're kind of going back to Connecticut, so it's not making a whole lot of sense logistically in my life. But yeah, absolutely, I'd love to pop back on there for a while, sure.
All right, I have to tell you, when I Googled your name, the first thing that comes up is, of course, Cameron Matheson, IMDb, followed by shirtless. There are videos devoted solely to your bare chest. How does that make you feel, or better yet, how does that make your wife feel?
One of the things I loved about Carpenter's Miracle is I didn't have to take my shirt off. That was perfect for me. I love that. I love, but no, it was sort of part of the deal. I came on as a young guy in All My Children, and that was my role there, and I probably played it up a little bit too much. I take responsibility for my part in that too. It kind of got a little bit out of control. But I think, it was all in fun. I want people at home to know I don't really take myself too seriously, and I promise I don't think I'm all that. There's a lot of fantastic work that can be done with lighting, all that kind of stuff. So my wife probably looks at those pictures and says, "How come you don't look like that at home?"
I'm sure that is not true. Speaking of your wife, you're very romantic. I read about how you proposed to her, and you also host the Yahoo reality web series Ultimate Proposal. What would you say is your one piece of advice you have for someone who's hoping to really just nail their wedding proposal?
Oh, to nail their wedding proposal? Wow. Yeah, I guess I should probably know that. I would say, I mean, it's sort of an obvious answer, but I would just say try your best to think out of the box and to try to really, do it in a way, if this is your goal, of course, to be as sincere and as genuine as possible. As big of a spectacle as you can do, it really loses its meaning in the heartfelt connection. So I think the surprise element is so fun, and doing it in a unique and specific way to your relationship and to your story with your partner. But I would say to do it in such a way that you don't lose that connection, and what's most important is really saying to this person that, I want to be with you for the rest of my life.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh, your wife is very, very lucky. We're going to let you get back to it. You can watch Cameron in The Carpenter's Miracle on GMC TV.
Well, don't go anywhere, because when Life Love Shopping returns, we're showing you the top 3 new apps worth downloading. You don't want to miss that. Plus, tips to take control of your finances so that you and your credit score are happy. We'll be back in a moment. As we start to rebound from the economic crisis, we're all making a conscious effort to manage our debt more responsibly. So here to make it easier for us is finance expert Farnoosh Torabi. Good morning, Farnoosh.
Good morning, Michelle. Thanks for having me.
So we're taking control of our finances now, and that includes how we're using our credit and paying off our debts?
It certainly is. According to the American Bankers Association, household debt, average credit card balances, and other kinds of loans has actually been reduced by about $2,000 to roughly $7,000. So we're not at zero yet, but we are making strides southward, which is a good sign.
And that is a good thing. And I know when you're choosing a card, you want to base it on your lifestyle, but there are also ways to reward ourselves for doing just that and paying down our debt.
Right. So I've actually partnered with Bank of America, and they've got a new card out in the marketplace that does just that. It rewards you for being more attentive to your balance. So a lot of us just pay the minimum, and this card, it's called the Bank America Card Better Balance Rewards Card. It rewards you for paying more than the minimum, because as we know, the minimum can kind of keep us in debt perpetually, but if we pay more than the minimum, we not only get out of debt faster, but we also pay less interest. And so to incentivize us to do that, Bank of America says, look, you do that, for every quarter we'll give you $25 for good behavior, and over the course of a year, using this Better Balance Rewards card, you can earn up to 100 extra bucks. And if you have a Bank of America account, a qualifying account, you can get an additional $5 per quarter. So over the course of a year, $120 free dollars for essentially doing the right thing, which is paying more than that minimum. And I mean, if you feel like you want to pay the entire balance, go for it. But, it's better than just paying that minimum, because it just keeps you on that treadmill to nowhere. As we say. So just, it's good to do that, because for a lot of us, that's what we do. We do carry a balance.
Right.
And up till now, there wasn't really a card that rewarded us for that particular behavior.
And I've heard a lot of finance experts say when you're paying off debt, you should treat it like a snowball. What exactly does that mean, and how can we do that?
So there's a couple of approaches to paying off your credit card. One is the snowball method, which is you might want to start with your balance that is the kind of the lowest balance that you have. Let's say you have 3 cards. One's got a $200 balance, one's got a $500 balance, one has a $1,000 balance. Starting with that $200 balance, you might feel really vindicated. You might get that sort of psychological boost, and which will motivate you to sort of take on the rest of the debt. It may not be the card with the lowest, or rather the highest interest rate, which is the other strategy. Start with the highest interest rate card, but it has the lowest balance, so it really makes you motivated.
So it's more about seeing that balance go down to zero. It'll motivate you to do better. Thank you, Farnoosh. If you want more info,
You're welcome.
just head to our website.
Thanks, Michelle. With so many apps to choose from, it can be a bit overwhelming when trying to find one that best suits your needs. So from useful to completely time-wasting fun, here are the apps you need to know about. First up, Sunrise. We have a wall calendar, a desk calendar, and a Google Family Calendar. So the last thing we wanted was a calendar app, but Sunrise syncs your Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn accounts into one well-designed, easy-to-use app so you won't miss a thing, especially looking at multiple calendars. Next issue. Print is not dead, it's just digital. You can still flip and dog-ear, but Next Issue has an interactive user experience that brings print to life. It's basically like Netflix, but for all of your magazines, putting tons of titles at your fingertips for only one monthly fee. And then Live Lens. Granny's all set up on her Facebook, but has no idea what to do there.
Right.
So how about we teach her to watch her granddaughter take her first steps, devour birthday cake, or head off to school live? Just stream video directly and privately through Facebook with just a touch of a button, or your drunken shenanigans there too,
Right.
you know?
That could really get some people into trouble, I'm thinking, because there's no time to change your mind about sending the video if it's
Yes.
live.
And there's no red light on the cell phone on the top to let us know that they're recording, you know?
Well, there's still more to come on Life Love Shopping. The important questions you need to be asking your doctor about your medications.
And new pop stars means new music. The new names in pop you should be downloading. Up next.
Welcome back to Life Love Shopping.
Yes, believe it or not, important questions don't always get asked during a doctor visit, and they usually have to do with medication. Here's some advice on what to talk to your doctor about.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donica Moore, and today we're talking about medication management issues. There's so many questions to ask about your medicines, but the most important ones are, first of all, should I be taking these medicines in the first place? Am I on the appropriate dose? Should I be taking them at a certain time of day? Should I be taking it with food or without food? And probably most importantly, are there foods or beverages that I should avoid with my medication? One example is grapefruit or grapefruit juice. We've heard a lot in the media about how grapefruit may interfere with the absorption of some of the medications or interfere with the metabolism or breakdown. If you're taking one of those 43 medications, you should not be having grapefruit along with it. The flip side is the rest of us can safely enjoy this superfood filled with antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. For more information about your medication issues, talk to your personal physician or your local pharmacist. And for more information about grapefruit, go to sunkissed.com.
Everyone dreams, yet we don't always remember them or even know what our dreams are about. That's why we're sharing some surprising facts about dreaming. For instance, the most common dream is that your spouse is cheating. It rarely, though, has anything to do with an actual affair, but rather the universal fear of being wronged or left alone. And you can control your dreams. While this isn't a skill everyone has, it can be developed. Being aware that you are dreaming is particularly useful for people who suffer from recurring nightmares. Now, dreaming can also help you learn. Researchers report that dreams are the brain's way of processing, integrating, and understanding new information. So, you want to avoid noise in the bedroom, such as the TV, which may negatively impact the length and quality of your dreams.
I think the best one is when you're in the middle of a dream and you realize you're dreaming and you're like, oh snap,
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want, I can fly, I can have a cupcake. That's the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, maybe your dream is to become a pop star.
Could be. Morgan Miller is here with a look at the fresh faces of pop music to keep an ear out for. Mo, what you
Hey, me and my girlfriends were just talking about this the other day. 2013 is about to be a booming year for new music. Tons of great new artists are coming out of the woodwork this year. Here are a few that you need to know.
Hear the birds on the summer breeze. I drive fast, I am alone in midnight.
Lana Del Rey is not necessarily a new artist, but her refreshingly sweet sound is going to bring some new tunes to 2013. She has one album, Born to Die, that dropped last January. She's supposed to be recording a new album as we speak. Excited about that one. Now, this guy may look a little familiar.
Me down if you want to, and I hope that you want to, 'cause I wanna be your man.
Yeah, that's Mickey Echo. He's featured on Rihanna's #1 hit single, Stay. You may remember who's in that. But this Nashville-based singer-songwriter is supposed to be releasing an album of his own this year as well, so be sure to keep an eye out for him. Now, this girl is proving that she's a lot more than Beyonce's little sister.
Tell me the truth, boy, am I losing you for good?
Solange has finally stepped out of her sister's shadow to prove that she is a star in her own right. Her retro R&B sounds are getting really popular. You can check out her EP. It's called True. I love Solange.
It would suck, though, to be known as Beyonce's sister. Like, I wonder how long she's going to have to put up with that.
She's doing good, though. She's got like a modeling contract with Vogue France. I mean, she's doing it.
Can't complain.
She can't, no.
Who are you looking out for? Like, who's your
I'm
favorite
loving
right now?
Icona Pop. It's called I Love It.
we have
I
that?
don't care. I think Freddie might have
Freddie?
it, our audio guy.
Can you cue that?
In case my singing didn't convince you of what song I was talking about.
I could jam to that.
Yeah, it's like a good girl anthem.
Yeah,
you know?
mine
What do you like?
not quite so new, but Macklemore, the poppin' tags, you know.
I just learned
Shopping
his
at the
name
thrift
today.
store.
I love that song and didn't know who it was.
There's even a dance you could do when you're
There
like
is. The
dance.
going through
We
the
decided
rack,
like
and then
this.
you find one you like.
Okay.
See?
Or the one like this, you try it
Easy.
on.
Okay.
Pretty easy, right?
I suck. I suck at it.
That's who we're loving, and
No.
you know,
Yeah.
we obviously don't care about embarrassing ourselves.
Not at all.
Well, listen, here at Life Love Shopping, we always want to connect with you. So if we're not on TV, stay in touch and go like our Facebook page. You can even follow and tweet us on Twitter at Life Love Shop.